Okay, thanks, Michael.
Hi, so yeah, it's been great to be at the Dream Challenges today and yesterday, just to see all the great work that goes on. And it's kind of made me even more excited about the new initiative we have. So basically, I'm going to describe a little bit about F1000 Research and what our goals are, and then obviously I'll talk a little bit more about the new initiative. So today, this is kind of where we're at. We're fitting science into a static article, and the journal this year has been 350 years old, and we've always published in the way where we condense it into a small article form. I don't think this is the best way now. The technological advance back then was the printing press, and it was the best way to communicate science. However, now we have the internet, and it's a lot quicker and easier to share results, and we can share them in lots of different ways. And so what our goal at F1000 Research is to try and take the article and fit it around the science rather than trying to fit the science into an article. So F1000 Research, we try to tackle this by coming over a few of the problems we find there is with the publishing industry. One is speed. So now we have the internet, now we can share research quickly. There is no reason an article should take 6 months to get published. So what we do is we publish the articles straight away after some checks, and the peer review starts after publication. The peer review is completely open and transparent, so as authors you get to see exactly who's reviewed your work and exactly what they've said about your work, and you can work with them to improve your work through versioning, which I'll come on to in a bit. There's also no barriers of publication, so nothing is judged on impact. The only thing that the referees are asked to look at is scientific rigor and the scientific methods used. And also, it doesn't just have to be a straight research article. You could publish data, negative results, anything that has been done well and is real science, that should be published. And our final foundation is we won't publish anything without access to the data. Obviously, with some data, there's genuine sensitivity concerns, and we work around that. But realistically, an article without data is pretty anecdotal. So let's try and put that into a diagram. Obviously, you guys are familiar with the traditional process where you submit. It's then out of your control. It goes into this loop, which means you might get accepted, you might get rejected, you might have to then do this all over again. And it's this middle part that's taking six months, sometimes a year. What we try to do is, like I say, publish straight away. Data and any code is published as well at that point and deposited in the correct repositories. And then the open peer review process starts. The peer review is completely invited and is run by us, so it's similar to the normal process. But like I said, it's completely open and you'll get to see who's reviewed your papers. And you can revise your papers upon the reviews that you get. So if a reviewer says, I'm not sure about figure 1, or you might need to change this bit, you can change that in a new version. It sits on top of the other version, and there's a whole history of how you and the reviewer have worked together to get the paper in a fit state. So talking with Gustavo and some of the other Dream leaders, why would this be this good for Dream? One is because of version control. So as you can revise your paper, you can also update your paper. So we have lots of software articles and other method articles where people have done little tweaks that might not warrant a full paper, but what it does, our system allows you to update the paper with the new information so the readers are always up to date with what's going on. As we are completely transparent and open, that means that we are very, very reproducible. So with any software code, we go to a lot of lengths to make sure that it's all available. There's a lot of processes that we do there. We have our own GitHub repository where we archive all the codes of each versions. And what we're trying to do is make sure that everyone has the correct information when they're looking at your paper. So as part of the platform, what we're trying to do is give the give the control back to the authors and the communities. So what we've done is create something called channels, and it's a little bit like a YouTube channel wherein communities or individuals or societies or organizations can come in, create their own dedicated space and curate everything from a conference and, in this case, challenges. So in the channel you can have presentations and posters. They will get the DOIs and become citable, but we'll also be able to publish the articles there as well, which will contain all the code and data. And as I said, everything will be openly reviewed. So currently we work with quite a lot of bioinformatics and genomics communities. For example, we publish the ISCB community journal on F1000 Research. We work closely with people like Cytoscape, where we publish applications and how to implement them and user cases of Cytoscape apps. Bioconductor, we publish cross-package workflows where people can really use those to help answer questions in multi-omics data. And so, as you can see here, we created the Dream Challenge channel about a month ago. And so we launched that with a software article tool, Dream Tools, which is a Python package on the scoring function of challenges. And the people that are going to look after this channel and champion it and make sure that the Dream community get involved is Gustavo, Jim, Julio, Pablo, and Justin over here. And so what content will we want in the Dream channel? So as Julio mentioned, a lot of the best performing challenges get published elsewhere, but there's lots of stuff that goes on that doesn't end up anywhere. And what we would like to do is put them all together in the Dream Challenge channel and make sure that all the computational models can get published and can be openly reviewed by the wider public. There's also the opportunity to publish articles on challenges and stuff around the challenges. So basically stuff like the Dream Tools package, but also opinion pieces on stuff like how do hackathons help and all the things that make this community as strong as it is. And also every presentation and poster can have a place here too. So after the meeting, I'm sure you'll receive an email to upload your presentations and posters so the wider community can benefit from them. And finally, why contribute? So get credit for what you've done. You've done good, even if you wasn't the best performing challenge. What you did is it could have been innovative compared to the best performing ones. And with all the information available, maybe something from one challenge could be combined with another challenge to make something even better. So just making it available is a good thing. Extend the visibility of your work. We want it to be open, and as the community here is based on openness, what it will do is bring it to the wider community and allow things that the Dream Challenges do to clinical kind of development and drug development, is make sure that everyone can see what's happening here. The open peer review will allow you to use other experts to build, improve, and expand on methods, and also by getting it out there, you foster new collaborations. This is a community that we all know about, but not everybody knows about it. So by making it public, we should be able to make sure that new collaborations can happen. So that's about it from me. I'm sure we will be asking you to contribute after the conference, but yeah, it's a new initiative, and we're really looking for it to be driven by the community, which is you guys. So thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Mike. I have a question for Michael.
Yeah, so I really like this model of publication, and it kind of seems more modern and moving forward. However, the traditional model of peer-reviewed publication serves a second purpose for traditional faculty members. It's used for evaluation for faculty. How do you envision this fitting in with that process? And do you see this replacing publication models? How does publishing here help me get promotion and tenure?
So I'm guessing I thought it would come up. Impact factor. So that's impact factor is one of these things that was created for libraries to judge what journals a librarian should buy. But now it's deeply ingrained into evaluation of tenure, and in the UK it's completely embedded in the grant proposals. And that's a bad thing that unfortunately has happened, and in order to get away from that, it's going to have to be a cultural move. Yeah, I believe that this way of publishing is becoming more and more popular. I know PLOS are very soon to be moving to something very similar. And I think we need to get away from the fact that of this one quantitative measure of impact factor. And one thing with the way we publish is you get a first kind of quality measure by seeing who's reviewed the paper and what they've said. If it's someone in the field who's high up, who's really give your work a bit of credit, then again, I think committees are going to look at that favorably. However, it's the committees themselves who've got to look at how they are judging people first. I don't think models like this can change that. I think that's a psyche that we have to get rid of.
And I'll just follow up on that as well. So for folks within the US, the National Institute of Health, NIH biosketches have actually changed in this past year, where instead of just a list of publications that you have published, they ask for the actual impact of the work. So they actually ask for a narrative around the 3 most important topics that you feel like you have made a contribution at, and it allows you to cite things like software contributions, data contributions, and things sort of outside the normal scope of publication. So I really do think that institutions are moving in that direction, whether or not that's going to be, tomorrow or next year or 10 years from now. But I think things are going in that direction.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's now going to be a plethora of metrics rather than this one solid metric. So yeah, it's going to take time, but be brave.
and I guess at least in the short term, it complements the other ones for sure, right? That's also how it's going to be for the Dream Challenge, that there will be like a first paper where we would go for one of those other journals, but many of the things that would not fit as displaying in that paper come here. So at least it complements and perhaps one day replace. So